It is like this. The colonies already pretty much are governing themselves before the war, but couldn't really, function because the British control all their trade. But still, they boycott the British product, right? In 1775, General Gage, he ordered British soldiers to destroy colonist weapon depot in Concord. That night, Paul Revere, he makes a ride into the Boston to warn everyone. Next day, shots are fired, and still we don't know who fired it first. In Lexington and Concord, weapons depot is destroyed, but the Minutemen, the Minutemen, a group of patriots constituted of armies, farmers with no training, they pushed the troops back into Boston, baby. Then Washington is appointed general of the new Continental Army. It's a beautiful thing. So then, the Battle of the Bunker Hill takes place, okay? And the British win. They take control of Bunker Hill, but they suffer major casualties. This kind of proves that, the puny little colonists, they might have a chance of winning in 76. But the French king goes, hey, I want to support those guys over there in the colonies, so they do. The Declaration of Independence. It is written by one Mr. Thomas Jefferson. Yeah, it's true, c'est vrai. But I will get to that later, okay? Basically, after that, there were lots and lots of battles in the colonies. But then, in 1778, France signs and sings Treaty of Alliance with the USA. So then America, a revolution, a world war is begun. Later, the British, loyalists, and some Native Americans also massacre settlers in the Wyoming Valley. So France goes, hey, you guys are mean, right? And they declare war on Britain. And then there are lots and lots of battles in the colonies again. Then in 1781, the America has a victory in Yorktown. And 2 days later, the British surrender to the underdogs who seem to have no chance from the beginning. Yes, in 1783, I believe it was. A Bonder country recognizes the colonies. A bunch of countries recognize the colonies as the U.S. of A. And then in 1784, the Treaty of Paris is ratified by Congress, officially ending the war.
You said you were going to go on about the Declaration of Independence.
Okay. So, the Declaration of Independence was basically a document saying that they were divorcing, right? Britain, because the king was a mean poo-poo. He said he was becoming a tyrant. King George passing laws that were directly affecting the colonists without their permission to create these laws. He even had the, what's the word I'm looking for? Court judges in the colonies, and was entirely the wages dependent on the king. He also kept sending the troops over, even during times of peace. Peace? And he even made the colonists pay for the troops' taxes. The king, he tried to end the rebellion through violence rather than actually listening. Maybe you want to listen to the complaints. Then send the military to attack them, kidnap their people, and force them into his army. Hired mercenaries, and didn't protect the people he claimed as his subjects from Native American attacks. Yeah. The Declaration of Independence, boys and girls, probably the most important piece of propaganda ever. And I'm happy to say that it stirred a country to fight and to persist and to gain its independence. The Declaration of Independence was a big influence in our Constitution today. Both documents heavily hit on people controlling the government. And I'm saying, being able to change it when it isn't protective enough.
By using tactics of persuasion, a small group of quote-unquote terrorists convinced enough of their fellow countrymen to join their side and fight to the death in many cases for a set of principles and ideologies. Because of those hard-fought battles, we are now able to protest without fear of persecution when we do not agree with our government. Those same tactics of persuasion are still effective in rallying others to a cause. On Valentine's Day 2018, 17 students were gunned down, massacred, at a high school in Florida. Much like the Boston Massacre, this was used as a call to action. History may show us that this event is a pivot point in American history. The Patriots in the 1700s were angry that their government was not protecting them. This time, it is teenagers that are the catalyst for rising protest of what many believe is a government unwilling to do something to protect its citizens. They are using slogans, posters, TV interviews, and lay-ins to motivate others to join their cause. On March 24th, there will be a March for Lives rallies across the nation. Propaganda, for better or for worse, has always been used to forward a cause.
So, how did you get into studying the American Revolution?
Well, I was in the war, or something to that effect.
Are you sure you're a professor?
This is the United States Armed Forces. You are under arrest for the impersonation of a university-level professor.